What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Constant Sports. I am your host, Constance. Now, I want to say something right quick. So, yesterday kind of like solidified why I really wanted to do this channel because all morning I was like trying to find things online to watch how some of the sportscasters were talking about the women's tournament that happened this weekend, which was some of the best basketball I've seen in a long time, all the way up to last night as well, and nothing. So that is definitely why I'm doing this channel. It it is definitely needed. So we just gonna kick this thing off, right? So this weekend, great basketball between all of the 32 teams that make it to the second round. I know I didn't do anything. It's been a while since I posted a video, but that's a lot of games to go over. So we are now down to the Sweet 16. We have the top teams that we thought were going to make it, some surprises that didn't make it, but I think that this has probably been one of the most competitive NCAA tournaments in a long time. There's a lot of good teams, but there's still that one great team, and we all know who that is. South Carolina, who came out with the W on Sunday. They started off slow. I know much slower than what Don Staley liked or even wanted, but they definitely kicked it up second half and ended up winning that game to make a trip back to the Sweet 16 and hopefully continue on down the line. Powerful play. They just got to definitely figure out how not to have that slow start. Because depending on who they can be matched up again, that slow start could hurt them, even though they're still a powerful team. They have some great playmakers. They have an amazing play caller in their coach. So they just have to figure out how to have a consistent, great game. I've noticed the past few games, they definitely start off slow. And in that second half, they're a totally different team. So definitely got to check that out. Next, Iowa. Same thing, slow start. Caitlin Clark didn't have her best first half, but that second half was one for the ages. Okay, Iowa, Iowa's going to be very hard to beat. Um, a lot of people had them or thought that it would be nice to see Iowa and South Carolina go for it for the championship, but maybe, but they can't because they're technically in the same, they're in a different region, but the same side of the bracket. I believe that's how you say it. So hopefully they still get to play each other, maybe in the Final Four. That would be great to see those two teams match up. I think everyone who watches the NCAA women's game wants to see those two teams go head to head. Next we have LSU. What can you say about Angel Reese? What what can you say? It Her game against Hawaii, double double. What was it? 15 rebounds, 24 points, I believe, something like that. 20 points, 15 rebounds. And then on Sunday night, she comes in and has 25 points, 24 rebounds, and 6 blocks against a Michigan team who they don't have like a lot of height. Like they don't have a center player that's 6'5", 6'7", or up, but their whole lineup, their whole team is at least 6 feet or taller. So there was definitely something that I know Coach Moki wasn't sure how her team was gonna react to having to go against a whole lineup of all 6'2" players. But they did really good. They played super physical, and Angel just does what she does. I mean, I was very surprised that she can get 24 rebounds on Michigan, but somehow she did it, and it was an amazing game to watch. The crowd was amazing in all of the home stadiums. Iowa's home stadium was amazing. South Carolina, we know the stadiums was crazy. Same with the PMAC for LSU. A couple surprises that we have though is Stanford gets knocked out of the tournament by Ole Miss, which I know a lot of people thought that Stanford was a weaker one seed, which they were. They had been struggling the last few games of the regular season. But I mean, it's still Stanford. Like no, yeah, you can't count them out. But some people are very surprised that Stanford got knocked out by Ole Miss. And then you have others who aren't. And I would say that I'm kind of in the middle. They had been struggling. They definitely had their weaknesses. But Ole Miss is such a powerful, and they play intense defense. They're gonna put a body against you. You know, you're not gonna back them down. They're gonna play hard basketball, and they're gonna give it everything they got every single game. I think that's one of the things about playing in the SEC. A lot of people was like the SEC was soft this year, which I still don't understand how the SEC was soft this year when the top 5 teams, at least 2 of them, was from the SEC. So you still had they were able to play against some powerful teams like South Carolina, Tennessee, LSU, and they were able to, even though they lost those games against those teams, they were still able to learn how to fight against adversity, you know? And those women played their butts off. They gave it everything they had for the game, for their coach, for their school, and it showed, and they're going to the Sweet 16. Like, I don't think that's anything that they thought that they were going to be able to do. You know, everybody wants to make it, right? But you find out you're going against Stanford. You know, and it's like Brink is still there. Brink's not hurt. Haley is still there. So it's like we might have a shot, but I don't think that they kind of like put that in hands like, yeah, we going to the Sweet 16. So they played an amazing game. Louisville, like I said a few videos ago, you can never count them out. They're gonna always play tough, and as long as Haley Van Leep is there, you can never count them out. I said that, and they're headed to the good old Sweet 16. Other teams that are coming in, you have Utah. Colorado will be playing Iowa. Utah will be playing LSU. You got Miami, who's going to be playing Villanova, and I do believe that's going to be an amazing game. I know Villanova they have Maddie Siegrist, but Miami is one of those scrappy teams as well. Like, they gonna make you work for everything you get off of them, and I think that's gonna be a very, very great matchup. And Miami played a great game to make it to the Sweet 16, and I do believe that they're gonna keep that rolling. They're gonna keep it rolling. Who else we got playing? So on Saturday, you have UCLA, who will be playing South Carolina. Tennessee will be playing Virginia Tech. Notre Dame and Maryland game, I think it's going to be very good. Those are 2 very, very good teams, very well-coached teams. Both teams are fast, pass the ball. I think that's probably going to be one of the best games on Saturday. And then you have Ohio State and UConn. Fudd is back, and she had a monster game last night to get UConn that win. She's going to have a monster game again on Saturday to be Ohio State to help UConn get past. UConn is UConn, so you can't really fault them for, they're going to make it. So you can't fault a team for not beating them. Like, are they a beatable team this season? Absolutely. Like, they've lost more games this season than most people and who just recently started watching the women's basketball has ever seen UConn lose. You know, UConn doesn't lose. You know, so they are a beatable team. They are still a team that is always, you don't know if they're gonna go all the way. You can't like count them out. I was like, oh, they lost a few games this year. Okay. Don't count them out now. Don't count them out. Because it was said that the SEC was weak, right? And the SEC has one, two, three, four teams? Four teams that's going to the Sweet 16. Four teams. So, can't say that. Everybody was like, LSU won't make it past maybe the first two rounds because they had a weak schedule, so you can't believe that they're that good. But they're going to the Sweet 16. And they play some good teams. Like, no one thought Michigan was a bad team. No one. That was, to me, I thought that was the game that was going to prove if LSU was for real. And you guys know I'm an LSU fan. But I knew that their schedule was weak. But I also knew the team that LSU had. And I was like, you can't say, like, oh, they played somebody good and they crumble. It was like, they played South Carolina. And they did what almost everyone does to South Carolina, right? They lost, and that was bad, but that was a wake-up call for them, right? And then they go on after South Carolina, and they're winning games again. And then they hit Tennessee, and they're killing Tennessee. And then they get into their own hands, they lose the lead, and they end up losing the game. So I think this is going to be an amazing Sweet 16 round. I think this round is going to be amazing. I'm definitely going to try to make it to some games, seeing how I live in Washington, and we have the Seattle Regional, so hopefully I can make it to some games. I'm going to check out the tickets now that I know who's going to be playing in the times. We're going to see. Hopefully if I go, I can get some live videos and drop it on here for you guys. But keep coming back to the channel. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. All right. And once again, this is Constant Sports. I am your host, Constance. Peace, love, happiness.